I had a bit of an aha moment maybe last year. I think I messaged Eli this like frantically because I was over in Ireland, which is way easier to get to, obviously, from London. And there's something about the phrasing in traditional Irish music. Like a lot of traditional music is actually just simply unaccompanied singing, unaccompanied song. It's the sean-nós, the old style of singing. So you don't really need to think about an accompanist when you're doing that style. But then obviously there's a lot of accompanied music as well. And I know when Eli and I play together, whether we're singing something that already has been like covering something or doing our own thing, every now and again we'll have this moment where he's like, why are you coming in right there? Like, why did you start just then? Because it doesn't really make sense in his mind. And I'm like, what doesn't make sense about it? This feels perfectly fine. Listening back to some other like traditional music then, and it kind of dawned on me, I'm like, oh, I think this maybe is more of a just like a different style. It's a different thing.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with folk duo The Lowliners. We revisit their 2022 album Better in Time and talk about their long history of making music together, from family music gatherings to co-writing across 7 time zones to recording their first professional album with the band of Heathens, Gordy Quist. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us from many different time zones. We have the Lowliners, which would be Eli Quist, joining us from Bozeman, Montana, and Julia DiGiorgio joining us from London, across the pond. And welcome.
Welcome to the Lowliners.
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
Thank you both so much for having us.
We're happy to have you. And Connie joining us from Richfield today. Hi,
First
Connie.
To the party.
Yes, great to have you here. Chris joining us from Minnesota. Good morning, Montana. Good evening, Ireland. That's right. No matter what time zone you are joining us from, I hope you're getting to enjoy, maybe kick back, enjoy a snack or a beverage. Right now, it's lunchtime in Minnesota, so I am enjoying an NA beer. But look at the color of this bad boy.
That looks like a loaf of bread in a pint.
I know, pretty much. It's a NA porter. From Deschutes, Black Butte.
Nice.
I'm gonna try this here. It's in my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass, but you can't tell because it's so dark, the beer. But I'm excited to try it.
Well, I got you covered here. So I got my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass, but I got a nice crystal clear lime bubbly going.
Excellent.
In my glass. Eli, are you enjoying any beverages today?
Yes, I unfortunately do not have a Back Catalog pint glass, but
we'll remedy that.
I'm rocking a sparkling water here. This is a guava flavored one though, so
delicious. That sounds great. And Julia, are you enjoying anything in London right now?
I am. I'm not in a pint glass, but I'm sipping on a can of Jubel. It's this like peachy beer. It's very nice, summery.
Nice.
Excellent.
Sounds
wonderful.
Delicious.
Well, let us know if you're out there listening, where you're tuned in from, if you're enjoying a snack or a beverage. And we're going to enjoy a nice happy hour here with the Lowliners. And we are excited we were able to find a time that worked for everyone. It's always challenging to work across many time zones. So is my math correct that you guys are 7 time zones apart, 7 hours apart?
Yeah.
I
think so. Yeah. Most of the time. Depends on daylight savings, I guess.
Yeah.
Shake it up for a couple of weeks.
But you originally met when you lived in the same time zone in Minnesota. Tell us a little bit, maybe a bit of your origin story. Maybe we can start with you, Eli, just talking about your background, how you started playing music, and maybe how you came into contact with Julia.
Yeah, so I started at a young age. Feel very grateful to have super supportive parents that also love music, and they started me in piano lessons super early, and then guitar, and then that moved to the mandolin, and just sort of the classic progression of getting hooked on music and trying to learn every instrument that exists. And simultaneously, and I'll let Julia talk about her side of the story a little bit, but um, through our parents and some of our mutual friends, we would meet every year around the holidays um, for a night that was called Family Music Night, and essentially it would be a gathering of all these random family friends that were friends from college or other places in life, and we get together with all the families and sing music and sing Christmas music, and then eventually be singing, Bruce Springsteen and all
Nice.
sorts of other stuff too. And so just a great celebration of music that we both got to be a part of from a super young age. And yeah, eventually in high school, we sort of started being like, well, we both like music, and let's maybe try and play some gigs around town, and maybe even write some tunes. And it just sort of all snowballed from there.
Excellent.
Cool.
Wonderful. Well, it's cool that it came from such an organic place of making music with the family,
Yeah.
and that you were able to develop it into something. And Julia, maybe you could share a little bit of if you have anything else to contribute about sort of your background, maybe before you met Eli, or if there was any other musical influence.
Yeah, I guess to fill in on my end, I suppose would be that I grew up playing violin, um, and doing like some musical theater, singing a little bit. I think Eli was saying like his family's big supporters of the arts, and I would say my parents are as well. And my dad's a big music guy, and he's always interested in something related to music. And so I think maybe where the Ireland bit comes from, I know we weren't sure whether I was joining from Ireland or from London, but my family did live in Ireland while I was growing up. And so one of our really big musical influences in my family was going there and playing traditional Irish music. And that's very largely because of my dad and his interest always with wherever we are, figuring out what the local music is and figuring things out like that.
So, now that you're in London, playing across, 7 time zones, depending on the time of year, did it take some extra commitment on your part to be like, now that we're not both living in the same state, we're going to continue making this music?
I would say absolutely. But at the same time, uh, this project has always just been so fun, and sort of, uh, you know, music and living a musical lifestyle is wonderful, but it can take a lot of organization and commitment
Mm.
um, and energy to get things done and make things happen. And but this project has always just kind of felt like, um, you know, I guess a way to recoup a little bit of energy, and it's just been fun and a great way to sort of express ourselves through our songwriting, and also, you know, there's not too much pressure with it, or too much commitment, I guess, which makes it even more fun of a thing to commit to, I guess,
Mm.
which is awesome.
Nice. We're going to be diving into an album, "Better in Time," and I would love to hear the origin story of this record, like when you decided to make it, and how the project came about.
Um, yeah, I think so. Better in Time, what would have come out in 2022. So it had always been a goal. I think honestly, when did we start playing, Eli? It would have been like 2018.
Yep.
So we were started, doing a couple gigs, started to write a little bit of music, and eventually, I guess we hit a point where we're like, we have enough music. We should try to, you know, keep a record of this in a more permanent way.
Well, definitely recording is a wonderful permanent way of documenting a period of time with a band, and in this case, kind of marking all those material you had accumulated. So this came out in 2022, and were you recording this during the pandemic? Were you in the same place? Were you sending tracks back and forth?
Yeah, I was gonna add on to what Julia was saying there, and I think to some extent, this album quite possibly might have never happened if it weren't for COVID.
Hmm.
And obviously, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world, and I'm super grateful to have just or be able to look back on that time and just kind of remember this and being able to play music and focus on music for a little bit. And I really look at that as a privilege. But early in that year, we'd sort of decided that we wanted to do this and committed a little bit to putting some music together. And then during COVID, especially the earlier parts, we were both home and really had a lot of extra time on our hands. So we started sending more and more things back and forth and sort of writing things more intentionally, even though we, could not be together. And this picture here that Anthony's pulled up is a good snapshot of what we were doing, where we'd, send video clips or voice memos here and there and try and play things together in any way possible. And yeah, so I'd say really COVID was a big part of this record, and allowed us to sort of have the time and the energy and the boredom that is required to really, put a lot of effort into a project like this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's dig in and hear some of the
Yeah.
music. So this first track that you picked to feature from this record is called "This Morning." And is there anything you want to say about it before we take a listen?
I'd say no. Let's just dive right in. We can
Yeah, let's
chat in
cut
a
to
second.
it.
All right, we're going to kick off the party today with the Lowliners this morning here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I woke up this morning, I was thinking of you. Just maybe I was on your mind too. You caught me off guard with your wit and your charm. Once you had me, there was nothing I could do. I woke up this morning, I was thinking of you. Even the wind seemed to whisper your name. But I didn't mind looking to see what we'd find. Worst case, we just end up the same. And I hope that I don't mess this good thing up. Don't know how we go back to the way it was. And if it blows up in our face, I hope the spark was enough. Either it will or it won't, it ain't always up to us. I woke up this morning, I was already late. Always running, got all these bills to pay. And I can't seem to find half of what's in my mind. But I hope you'll find a reason to stay. I woke up this morning, I was falling from a dream. What if I'm not who you'd hope that I'd be? But I'll push that away on a big leap of faith. And if I'm lucky, you and I become we. And I hope that I don't mess this good thing up. I don't know how we go back to the way it was. stars up in our face. I hope this spark was enough. Either it will or it won't. It ain't always up to us. Either it will or it won't. It ain't always up to us. I hope that it don't mess this good thing up. It ain't always up to us. I hope that it don't mess this good thing up. It ain't always up to us. I hope that it don't mess this good thing up. It ain't always up to us. I hope that it don't mess this good thing up. It ain't always up to us. I hope that it don't mess this good thing up. It ain't always up to us. I woke up this morning, I was thinking of you.
All right. Music from the Lowliners this morning from their album Better in Time, which came out in 2022. And we're enjoying it today, listening back with Eli and Julia from the Lowliners. Eli joining us from Bozeman, Montana, and Julia joining us from London. And Bill just joined the party from Kansas City. Hi, Bill.
Welcome.
If you just joined the party, tell us where you are tuned in from, if you're enjoying a snack or a beverage. Here in Minnesota, where Tony and I are based, it's lunchtime, so we're enjoying some NA beverages and some snacks. But we'd love to hear what you are enjoying other than the music, which
Right.
I was enjoying immensely.
And if you have any questions or comments for Eli or Julia about the songs, songwriting, recording, anything like that, hop on in the comments, and we'll try to get to them by the end of the hour.
That's right. Or memories, if you have any experiences hearing these songs live or anything like that. Well, you were mentioning before we took a listen to that song that it was recorded during COVID, and you sent tracks back and forth. Do you remember where the seed of this song started? Did one of you start that voice memo chain on this tune?
Yeah, that would be me. Guilty. Um, I so vividly remember actually like walking into work one summer morning, and I used to work at a sailing school. So I had like a short little walk where I had to like park the car and then walk the rest of the way like around the lake to get to where the actual camp was. And I think especially like on the verse 2 there, I will always think of this specific stretch on like Lake Bidemakaska, which is probably where that seed would have come from. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I sent it to Eli because I feel like I can never finish a song unless I send a half-baked idea to him first. So I've never sent a full song to anyone in my life. It's always like, here's, anything from 2% to hopefully more, but a little
So does he
bit.
jump in with help with the lyrics or the music or both? You guys go back and forth. I was actually curious about your writing process together.
I think it's actually changed quite a bit, especially in the last 2 years since I've been here in London. I think at the time we were probably doing things a little bit more separately. Would you say, Eli? Like he would write a song and I would write a song, and then we would kind of have some influence, but it wouldn't necessarily be like super collaborative. I think now we're in a actually much more collaborative phase, which is funny because as you're saying, yeah, like we're 7 time zones apart. We see each other maybe once a year, like twice if we're lucky. So, but somehow it's actually gotten more collaborative, I think, in the last couple of years. I think maybe because we're so much more deliberate about sending things back and forth. But like at 2020, when this was first, like this song would have been written in like June or July of 2020. So we were still kind of maybe getting our legs and figuring it out. I don't know, Eli, what would you say?
Yeah, whenever I think of this song, I always think of it as being like the first for us in a lot of ways. it was the first song that we like actually sort of sat down and recorded, just home studio style recording. And that's actually on all the streaming platforms also, because it was the first
Mhm.
song that we ever released as well, as a single. And I remember like recording that, and we were in the basement of my house and did some take, and then we're listening back and we were like, oh, we have to, you know, scrap that one and wait for the furnace to turn off because it's too noisy. And so it was definitely when I think of this song, it's like the first one that we sort of really committed to. Like, we're liking this writing, we're liking this process, so we're going to try and record it and sort of get our legs under us a little bit. um, and then also moving towards when we had the opportunity to actually record this album down in Austin. This was the first song we started with, and it's a song that is sort of always like kind of comfortable for us because we've been uncomfortable through the whole process of recording it the whole time because we had no idea what we were doing. But
Well, that kind of gets
um,
to Chris's question here about the production, the final recording. It sounds really great. Chris asks, was the final production recorded with both of you in the same studio? And it sounds like the answer is yes.
yeah, so we had the opportunity in May of 2021 to go down to Austin, Texas. And my cousin, Gordy Quist, is a very accomplished musician and producer down in Austin. And he he has this studio called the Finishing School, which I would definitely encourage you to go and check him out. Gordy Quist and the Finishing School. They have a lot of super amazing projects based there, as well as his main project is the band of Heathens, which is a band that is awesome and you may have heard of. Um, so yeah, we got to go down there that May and spend a few days with him, and he was showing us the ropes of how everything works, and also helping us with our writing a little bit and sort of pre-production work, and then committing all the way through to the final product here. But yeah, it was really a super awesome experience, and great time that we got to spend with Gordy down there and really focus on what we're doing.
And for those who are just listening to the audio podcast, we're looking at some pictures that they sent along from the studio down in Austin. And we were looking at a picture, it looks like, with your cousin there, and a picture of the two of you in the studio recording. And then there's this Polaroid, which I got to ask about. It says Har-Money. Harmony. What can you tell us about this photo here?
Um,
Yeah, so oh, sorry, go for it, Julia.
yeah, if my connection holds, I would love to. We at the end, so like at the end of the song, that last little bit, it kind of goes into this little like, I don't know, two voice kind of round-ish moment. Which I think is also a cool, just speaks to what Eli was saying about how we were kind of really getting our legs with this song. And it's the first time we started being a little bit more intentional about like, how do you actually write music? Because I mean, I was 20, Eli, you would have been 17. I don't know, like we were kids. And looking at these photos, it's funny because I'm looking at it, I'm like, we're kids. We're probably still kids, but we're definitely kids in these photos.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like I remember we had taken one summer afternoon day to like figure out this whole round thing. Like, how do we weave these lines together and make something kind of actually interesting, like how do we actually write intentionally? So then when it got to the studio time, it was great because we had a couple of extra voices and it wasn't just us. So in that first basement recording that Eli was talking about, if you were to go back and listen to it, I think there's like 3 Julia tracks and probably like 2 or 3 Eli tracks. So you're just hearing, it's just the same. It's us still. But yeah, when we were in the studio, it was great to be able to layer in some like actually other voices and put it all together, get some new harmony lines into the music. And so that was really special for us because we were barely collaborating with each other. It felt like. So then to get like more people involved, it just was really cool for us, I think, on that day.
Hey there, would you like to be part of the live show? Well, become a member of the Back Catalog Listening Party Patreon, and you'll get a backstage pass to weekly online tapings where you can ask the artist questions and participate in the live chat with a fun community of like-minded music nerds. You'll also get a first look at upcoming guests and receive invitations to special live streams and private after parties. So join the party today at patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
Well, it's sounding great. I was really noticing not just those layered vocals, but just like it still has this spare feel, but it has uh it definitely is not a COVID at home recording, like
It's
it
got some real
has.
polish.
Yeah, exactly. Which is really neat. I know you recorded this in Austin, Texas, and it looks like our friend Alan has made it. He's down in Texas as well, but he says the buses in Houston are slow, so he was a little late to the party. But welcome, Alan. And if you are a little late to the party, there's no such thing as being late to the party. You just jump right on in, enjoy the music. Tell us where you're tuned in from, and if you have questions for Eli and Julia about this Low Liners project, and in particular this album, feel free to throw them in the comments. We're going to take a listen to another track here from the album, A Better in Time. This is April. Is there anything you want to say about this before you take a listen?
I would say you'll hear some lines in this song about, that might be reflective of this COVID period. And for me, this song is kind of our COVID anthem. And actually, Anthony, if you have the picture of us sitting in those chairs, this is in my backyard. And once we were able to, distance and be outside in the same location in that period, we did a lot of this as well. And yeah, I think this is sort of reflected in this song. So keep this image in mind while you're listening.
Excellent. All right, let's give it a spin. This is the Low Liners with April here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Watered down whiskey and sweet red wine. How good it feels to feel your hand in mine. We've worked all the day and all through the night, going so fast there ain't no time to fight. But how many days have since come and gone? How many days till I can hold you in my arms? So come out to the garden. There's a full moon tonight. On the wings of an angel like I could never write. And let's sit by the water and look up through the trees. Hear spiraling voices in sweet harmony. But how many days have since come and gone? How many days but the rain will keep falling, and the sun will still shine. As bad as it gets, they say it gets better in time. As bad as it gets better in time. And the earth still keeps spinning. Yeah, life it goes on. The snow just keeps falling in a sad, sad song. Yeah, the snow just keeps falling in a sad, sad song.
All right. Beautiful stuff from the Lowliners, April, from their album Better in Time. And I can definitely hear some of those, COVID vibes, which is like the kind of like wistfulness for a warmer, closer time with your
Mhm.
loved ones. Really beautiful stuff. And, earlier you mentioned some influences of like Irish music. And when you go to your Facebook page for the Lowliners, it says folk and country and Irish as the description. So tell us a little bit about that because I can feel that a little more in that particular song.
Mm.
Yeah, almost like a ballad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because to me, I'm actually not sure how, like, I love that people can hear it because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like, people ask me, "What kind of music do you play?" And I'm like, sometimes I'm very much steeped in, like, a very traditional, um, vein of Irish music, and other times I'm doing this, and I'm never really sure what the genre, uh what the genre is called or, like, how to describe it. Um, but as far as that influence, I think I had a bit of an aha moment, maybe last year. I think I messaged Eli this, like, frantically because I was over in Ireland, which is way easier to get to, obviously, from London, and there's something about the phrasing in traditional Irish music, in relation to, like, a lot of traditional music is actually just simply unaccompanied, singing, unaccompanied song. It's the sean-nós, the old style of singing, so you don't really need to think about an accompanist when you're doing that style. But then obviously there's a lot of accompanied music as well. And I know when Eli and I play together, sometimes we'll either be, whether we're singing something that already has been like covering something or doing our own thing, every now and again we'll have this moment where he's like, why are you coming in right there? Like, why did you start just then? Because it doesn't really make sense in his mind. And I'm like, what doesn't make sense about it? This feels perfectly fine. But anyway, I was like listening back to some other like traditional music, then, and it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I think this maybe is more of a just like a different style. It's a different thing, and so I still obviously am struggling to actually describe what it is, and I'm sure that's like not a great story without a clear example to show you because it doesn't really make sense. But I think maybe there's something there with like this like longingness, this feeling. And again, if you're just listening to the audio, you can't see me like dancing around trying to find the right words for it, but maybe that's all I can say about it in a cohesive sense.
Well, I think that the idea that you grew up, like you spent years, formative years, kind of listening to this music informed your kind of approach, and even subtle things like when to sing a harmony line is probably quite a bit different, than maybe American folk music. So I think that was enlightening.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a beautiful tune. And with these songs, did you, how much time did you spend working with the producer ahead of time to figure out how you're going to record it? Or did the two of you kind of work on that on your own before going to Austin to record this record?
Yeah, we definitely spent quite a bit of time, sort of getting ready to go to Austin, especially once we had decided that that was something we wanted to do. And um, yeah, we had, probably 40 or 50 songs written at that point.
Oh,
Um, and we had sort of categorized them into like, we're super excited about these. These ones are fine, but might need some work for us to be excited about them. And here are ones that we're not excited about at all. And um, so we sort of did that, and then spent some time kind of really trying to craft things and think about how it might sound. And I was fortunate to, have some experience just in Logic and GarageBand, and so we were able to kind of craft some demo type things as well, just layering tracks and trying to, you know, sort of find what sound we like. And then I would say the second we rolled up in Austin, um, Gordy kind of blew that out of the water in the best way possible. And he took what we'd started with and really helped push us to something that was like 1,000 times better. And he also, know, put in a lot of time with sort of pre-production stuff and giving us comments and feedback and ideas. So yeah, I'm super grateful for that whole process. That was super fun.
nice. Well, while we're on that topic, I want to ask, you have 40, 50 songs and you're kind of choosing which ones you think are, the keepers and not. Was there any criteria that you used to kind of make the songs work together in an album? Was there any themes or threads that you identified that you thought, yeah, that's for this record?
I would say, you know, we definitely had sort of a goal of, some tracks having a bit more, uh, instrumentation and kind of, I guess, orchestration and a lot of layers and a lot of rich sounding instrumentation as well as harmonies and stuff like that. And then, kind of on the other end, we wanted to balance that with just stripped down vocals and a guitar, because that is kind of how we started, and that's how we always played together. And so we were sort of trying to balance those themes as well as, just sharing our own writing from both of us, and what songs we were feeling excited about at that time. And I think a cool part about this record is we, spent a lot of time crafting things and working on things and thinking about things. But at the end of the day, I feel like most of the decisions we made were sort of purely emotional and what we felt like was right at the time. Um, and maybe that's not the best way to do it, but looking back, I think it's a really great kind of snapshot of where we were at that time. And yeah, I think that theme is sort of the main theme of the record is
hmm
this was us at that moment in time.
That's I would just agree, and I just want to jump on because like the name of the album is obviously Better in Time, and those lyrics are in this song April. We're like, as bad as it gets better in time. Obviously, like that
Mhm.
was the thick of COVID, and we were like, hopefully, of course, hopefully this will get better, but we didn't fully know that in April of 2020, and it felt pretty shit, if I can say that.
Yeah.
It felt pretty
That
bad for
sums it
most
up.
of us, even though we were able to enjoy time together and playing music. Like all in all, of course, that was not a fun time for anybody. And I think agreed that I think maybe at the time none of our decisions were super intentional, and then like when we were recording in the studio a year later, it also was not the most intentional. But I think we did know a little bit. I seem to remember at least one conversation where we were like, it's our first record. So hopefully, as bad as it gets, this will also get better in time. Like if the first one is really bad, maybe the second one will be better. So I think there's some theme to that as far as like the messaging and the themes lyrically in across the record of like, you know, teenagers kind of figuring things out and hoping that things are in fact going to start getting better. Um, so It does. Newsflash, it does. But on all fronts.
That's something I just want to pick up on that thread that you just mentioned. I mean, you guys were teenagers. I mean, these songs are really beautifully fleshed out. Not just the production with the help from from your cousin Eli, but like songwriting wise, like they're very mature songs, and any recording will always only be a snapshot in time. Ultimately, even if you spent 5 years making it, it's still only that 5 years. So the next day you could do something different. But I think this is a really beautiful snapshot. And, I would have been pleased as punch if I ever did anything half as good when I was a teenager. So I'm just saying, I think it's held up. And in fact, Joel and Beth chiming in, joining the party from Golden Valley, said that they're really enjoying the interview and that the songs are beautiful. Yay! All caps and an exclamation point. And Connie says, lovely harmonies. So folks are enjoying the music. We're going to hop right back into the music, but I want to get to this question that Alan had. Since you recorded in Austin, Texas, which is, live music capital, did you get out to enjoy any live music?
Or was
while
there
you were
live
there?
music? And
Oh, that's true. And there might not have been in 2021. I don't know.
Yeah, by spring of 2021, things were starting to get back up and going a little bit, and we did have the opportunity. We went and saw Gordy play. He was doing a sort of song swap with a guy, Jason Robert Bloom, and another Austin musician. And then we also, got to do some field trips to some of the amazing guitar stores around Austin and musical instrument stores, Austin Vintage being one of them, and play a lot of fantastic instruments as well. So, yeah, Austin is a great place.
Definitely. Well, we're going to hop back into this recording that was recorded in Austin. And the next track that you picked to feature on today's show is Lucky Ones. Is there anything you want to say about it before we take a listen?
I think this song to me is super memorable with Gordy helping us kind of craft some instrument parts and instrument lines. And through the second verse, I play some mandolin, and I remember him being super focused on finding lines that sort of lyrically or match what is happening lyrically in the song. So, for example, there's a line, "Let's build a house in the forest," that you'll hear. And he said, play a mandolin part that describes that. And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. So that took a lot of work and a lot of effort. But I think it turned out pretty cool. So be listening for that.
I love that. All right, we're going to be listening for those mandolines. This is Lucky Ones from the Lowliners here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
We are the lucky ones. Don't you agree? Take me away from the city. I wanna look up and just see the sky. I wanna see stars shining bright in the distance. No more street lights. You can take the wheel in the morning, but until then, I'll just drive us through the night. We'll fall in love with a new place tomorrow, but you'll always be my first morning light. Forever doesn't seem like it could be long enough, and I don't have forever to just give it up. You and me, we are the lucky ones. We are the lucky soul life and drive right on to the next. Just take what you really need, and honey will take care of the rest. Let's build a house in the forest. We'll wake up to the sound of the trees, or we'll go to the ocean. Like waves meet the break, I need your love to breathe. Forever doesn't seem like it could be long enough, and I don't have no forever to just give it up. You and me, we are the lucky one. We are the lucky one. Don't you agree? You and me, we are the lucky one. We are the lucky ones. Don't you agree?
Beautiful
Nice.
stuff with the Lowliners, the Lucky Ones, from their album Better in Time, which is available on Bandcamp. And we have not mentioned this yet, but if you're enjoying the music and it's sounding so good on our end, because it's gone through a couple fewer ones and zeros than maybe
Through the
where you
internet.
are listening
Yeah.
from. And if that's the case, you'll want to get the high res versions. You can get those files at thelowliners.bandcamp.com. You can find this album, some other recordings, and they have a new single that's out. So you can check that out as well, Retrograde. And you can also throw in some extra money. So,
That's right.
they might need some extra bucks if Julia's going to come back stateside to play some Lowliners gigs with Eli in Montana. So, these things aren't cheap. So we want to keep the music alive, and we know you do too. So go to the lowliners.bandcamp.com to buy some music and show your support.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was going to ask is, you mentioned you added a mandolin part to that. Obviously, you are layering vocals. You brought in some extra harmony singers on one of the tunes we heard. Was all the other instrumentation done by you, or did you bring in some other Austin players to play on it?
It was pretty much all us. Gordy played electric guitar in some spots, and like that first track this morning that we listened to. But otherwise, I was playing guitar and mandolin and some viola and fumbling my way around piano also.
Mm-hmm.
And Julia was playing some strings as well, and also percussion.
I played the tambourine on a couple tracks.
She's an all-star tambourine player, we learned.
Up and coming.
But,
Watch this
yeah.
space.
I love the piano and mandolin relationship in that last song. If you're listening to it with phones, it's also a little panned. But they really do share some tonal qualities, and when you were talking about these mandolin lines, of course, I come from like more of a bluegrass background. I'm expecting all kinds of hot licks, and I know Eli can play those. But I mean, it was very restrained and really did seem to help tell the story. Was the piano line intertwined with your building the forest with your mandolin riffs?
Yeah, I think that came from I played some mandolin parts, and then I love all keyboards and think it can really add a lot of depth to any recording. And so I was excited about that sound, but just didn't know how to play it. And we didn't really have the money to hire any of the, brilliant keyboardists that are hanging around Austin. But we got through it. And so I think I played sort of the same intertwined thing as the mandolin because it probably took me quite a while to figure that out, and to do anything different would have been too challenging. But
I love that. I thought it complemented the mandolin really well.
Yeah, it sounds great. The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. We mentioned that you have a new single that's out now, Retrograde. Is this a sign that there might be some more new music coming? Another album on the works? All right. I see those fingers crossed, Julie.
My fingers crossed. There. Yeah. I mean, of course, life is lifing right now. And as you mentioned, I am on a different continent, 7 time zones away. So hard to say when on a timeline, but hopefully there'll be some more things to come.
We've always joked that the Lowliners work in business years. So potentially in the next 3 to 5 business years, we'll have something. But I think our goal right now is for always is to just keep writing and keep sending stuff to each other and keep working on things. And I have no doubt in my mind that we'll keep getting music out there, and hopefully someday soon there will be another full album.
Nice. And the place to find that will be thelowliners.bandcamp.com. And if you go there and pick up this record and check out the new single, if you sign up to follow them, you'll hear about any new material that they have coming out later. So head on over to Bandcamp and join the Lowliners there.
That's right. And you can also find them on Facebook and Instagram, I believe, as well. So you can check them out there. But we're going to get to one more song on today's show. And the next one that you picked to feature is When You're Ready. And is there anything you want to say about this before we take a listen?
I would say this song is one of those, we were talking about categorizing them. And this song was definitely in the not excited about category, but
interesting.
It made it through to the end.
You.
And
I think to Eli, it was not excited. For everybody else, we were very excited.
Interesting. So was this when you brought Eli and we're like, I don't know, but if people heard it and we're like, yeah, man, you got to keep it? Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah. And this was one of the first songs that I had written and sort of workshopped for a while, but people are always asking for it, and it's stuck around, and I've grown to like it. But I think it's a really great example of just sort of our, sort of stripped down sound, and being able to play with each other, which is great.
Wonderful. Well, a great way to close out our hour here with the Lowliners. This is When You're Ready here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
The plane bounces around, people twist as it turns. All that you dream, little feet, the best lullaby that I've heard. That ain't no lullaby for a man of almost 16 years. Yeah, flying ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. And now we drop on descent, a new world comes into view. And people getting busy, making a list of things they gotta do. I just sit there thinking about you in this new frontier. Falling ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. So hold me, make me feel right at home. It's a big new world, one that I barely know. Let me know when you're ready, give me the all clear. Because ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. Well, you can sleep when you're dead, well, I'm dying, so what do I do? From what I understand, that don't mean much to you. Let me tell you something, baby, come sit over here. And dying ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. I'm sitting all alone, but certainly not by myself. My whole life stacked up, high up on the shelf. Where's the part you and I before a minute we both came near? That ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. So hold me, make me feel right at home. It's a big new world, one that I barely know. Let me know when you're ready, give me the all clear. Because loving ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. And playing in bars 10 years before I could drink, making my brain think about everything that I think. I have no friends now, but I'll have some in a couple of years. People ain't scary, they just happen to be one of my fears. So hold me, make me feel right at home. It's a big new world, one that I barely know. Let me know when you're ready, give me the all clear. Because loving ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. Yeah, loving ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears. Loving ain't scary, it just happens to be one of my fears.
All right. The Lowliners with When You're Ready. Beautiful tune from their album Better in Time, which came out in 2022. But we're enjoying it today in 2025. And that's what we do here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. We get to revisit old records with the musicians that make them. Today, joining us, Eli Quist and Julia DiGiorgio. Eli joining us from Bozeman, Montana, Julia from London. And it's so great that we were able to gather you both together to chat about this record. And Chris chimed in to say, reminds me of Graham Parsons and Emmy Lou. Great. And Connie says, what a great sound. Thanks for a terrific show. Well, thank you all for being with us and spending this hour listening to music and engaging in the conversation, especially to all of you joining us in the live chat today. And if you want to be a part of the live chat here on the Back Catalog Listening Party and get invited to the live tapings and get first look at all of our guests, you can join our Patreon. These are the folks that have kept the show going for 5 years since COVID. That was our pandemic project.
That's right.
You guys were recording. We were finding ways to geek out about old recordings. And these folks have kept this show going through to today. And we got to hang out with a few of them last week, and we had such fun doing that. I want to thank Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Ellen, Chris, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, Neighbor Ann, BZ, Alyssa, Paul, and our 3 new Patreon members that came in this week, Cynthia, Ross, and Mike.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the party.
Great to have you here. And like Ellen said, I mean, the heart of this whole program is being together with other people and appreciating this stuff together. And so if you're interested in getting together once a week to nerd out about music, like the old days of reading liner notes, we'd love to have you on board. You can learn more at patreon.com/back catalog listening party.
That's right. And if you are listening to the podcast and you think, "Oh, this was great. I want to catch another episode." Well, first of all, you can like the episode, you can review it, and you can subscribe to it because we do this every week. We share new episodes, new conversations about old records, and we just want to have you engage in the party in whatever way you want to. And but we couldn't do it without artists like Eli and Julia taking the time to join us across the time-space continuum to talk about this record. This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much for hanging out.
Thanks
thank you so much for having us. Yeah, this is a blast.
And you can keep in touch with Eli and Julia again on Facebook or Instagram, or by going to thelowliners.bandcamp.com. They say they get together at least once a year for a gig. So you want to be on top of it because you don't want to miss the one gig of the year. So make sure to stay in touch with them, and for sure, check out their new single out now called Retrograde. Thanks again for joining us. This has been such a treat.
Yeah, a great hour. And we'll see you back here next week for another episode of the Back Catalog Listening Party. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.